I'm
Video yet?
good. There you are. Now I can
Yeah.
see you. Oh, what a beautiful color.
Thank you. Yes, I'm all green today. Everything's today is green.
It's lovely. I'm all
Thank you.
flowered today.
You're a florally girl. Florally
Yes,
Friday.
in my fancy dress from Target. Target.
Yeah. Yes, that's what we call it here too, Tarjay.
I am
Yeah.
so excited to talk to Adam. I haven't gotten to talk to him through you or Emma for a few weeks because Emma's been on
Oh,
vacation, and so have I, and so have you.
right. Well, he said, hello, Mom, I'm doing okay, but I've been following you around everywhere, so it doesn't matter whether we talk or not. I'm still there, Ma.
It's interesting because I have really been able to hear him better, and I learned something fascinating today. I was
Right.
listening to somebody talking about the current planetary energies, and they were talking about how they started July 21st. And interestingly enough, that was the day that I went to Lake Tahoe. And apparently the vibes are really high there. I didn't know that. I mean, there's two Lake Tahoes. There is the South Lake Tahoe where all the gambling is, and then there's North Lake Tahoe, which is more nature, and there's a spiritual center there. And it was all of a sudden, bing, bing, Adam and Eric were like there. And I was hearing them so good. And I was just like dialing it in and really talking to them about what was going on, how to recognize the feeling, how to get myself into that place. And it was so freaking cool. That was when they actually gave me the idea to invite Sarah and her Adam. Our very last Chillin' with Adam.
Yeah, I saw that. That was brilliant. Yeah, it was a good idea.
It was
a
so
double Adam show, that wasn't it?
It was a double Adam show, and the really beautiful thing about it was her Adam came to me. I mean, without her, I'm getting the chills. Her Adam came with my Adam, and I felt him. And then I shared with her, "This is how he feels." It was just really amazing. It's super exciting. I mean, and then yesterday, one of our subscribers sent me the sweetest email, and she was, saying, what a cute little dog I had, and then she was grieving because she just lost her little sweet little dog that she had had for 14 years. And then she talked about losing her sister and that she didn't feel like she could communicate with her. And I'm like, oh gosh, that just doesn't feel good. I'd like to give her a message. So I run to my Flower Therapy deck by Doreen Virtue to pull a flower card for her. And as I'm reaching for this deck, something says, pull an animal card. And I thought, well, maybe her sister was into animals. So I pulled a flower card, but then I still had this, you know how it is with spirit, where they just give you this nudge where they're not going to let you say no. I just grabbed the animal card deck. And do you know, it took me the whole day before I actually realized it was her dog that wanted me to pull that animal card. And the card that came out was penguin.
Oh.
And the message was, your period of darkness will soon be over.
Oh my goodness. Sometimes spirit can be really subtle in the connections. And then when you do get it, you go, boom, like, wow, that was so spot on. Yeah.
It was.
And this is why it's so easy for people to miss them. But, this time of year, my abilities do get stronger. I don't know what it is, but immediately we get through July, the whole thing flips, and the energies, and it happens every single year. It's like the veil gets thinner.
I think so.
And then being around water is really good for channeling. So if you're going to learn to channel and you've got a beautiful body of water next to you, perfect. So use it, because you get ionized and it raises your vibration. Go into the forest. Plants and trees raise your vibration. Like my energy, just in a forest, it's just like, it's just wonderful. It's it's like refreshing. Anywhere like that would be really good for people to learn to channel. So.
That is wonderful advice, and that explains something, because when the place I was at, when I just got those two clearly, I was right on Lake Tahoe. I mean, out my window, I could have thrown a rock in it.
So it amplifies your natural ability, right?
Because love that.
There's no negative. Water's not negative. Nature's not negative. Nature is high vibration. It doesn't suffer from malice or jealousy or anything like that. It is pure God source. So naturally, when you're sitting in that, it's going to raise your vibration to the same level, right? And it clears all the muck out your energy field. So yeah,
it's amazing. And then when you're looking at water at just the right time of day, and you get all these sparklies on the water, if you relax your gaze and kind of go into a soft focus, you can see light language just coming up off of it. I mean, it is amazing. Just love that stuff. How exciting. We are going to channel Florence Nightingale today.
Okay. I can see a lady. I'm seeing her, I'm getting pictures in my third eye, and she's showing me a candle in the nighttime. She must have done a lot of work at night, I suppose, with her candle.
She did. She was known as the lady with the lamp because she would carry her candle at night to provide, to check on the wounded and dying soldiers, and that's what they called her.
That'll be why that's why she's giving me that picture. Then that's really nice. Okay.
Well, I can see this lovely energy behind you.
Oh, can you?
Oh yeah.
It's kind of pinky, isn't it?
It's lovely.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, and what compassionate, beautiful rose energy would be present with this woman who's the founder of modern nursing?
Yes. The founder of washing hands in nursing.
Absolutely.
She just told me,
absolutely.
right?
The hygiene. Yeah. How huge is that? I mean, what we know now.
Yeah. So I'm just going to bring her in a little bit closer.
Okay.
So we can get a greeting off her.
Okay.
And she says, "Good day. Good day to you, Cindy. It's so very, very nice to be here. Thank you. Thank you for bringing me in." She said, "I am full of joy. I'm ready to go."
I'm so excited that you're here. Good day, and it's very nice to meet you. So let me look at my little paper here. Okay, so this is what I learned about Florence, that she actually came from a privileged background, not something that you might expect considering how dedicated she was to serving the needs of people who were less fortunate. So she came from a privileged background, yet she was always concerned for others. And I'm just curious to learn where did she learn such compassion?
She brings up her father. She says that even though there was wealth in the family, my father understood that, being wealthy does not make you better than anybody else.
That's right.
It actually obligates you to help those who have less than you and make their lives a better life. And so that is where I came in with compassion, but my father taught me very, very much that I should not at any time look down my nose at anybody else who is different to me, and I should by default, I should help people because of my status in the community.
That is wonderful. What a wonderful man. I understand that you had a lot of compassion for animals as well.
She loves animals. She's showing me this fluffy dog, so I guess she had a little, it looks like a fluffy white dog, and all I can see is like a ball of fur. So, and I feel like they had other animals too. I can hear some chickens clucking outside, and they got fresh eggs. They had people who worked for them, kitchen staff and that kind of thing, and so yeah, there's plenty of animals. She said that she had a really beautiful childhood, and her growing up, it was so loving compared to many. Many in her situation were not brought up with love. They were brought up with cold hands,
Right.
But she was one of the lucky ones. She was brought up with loving hands.
Hands-on parenting. People who spent time with her and took the time to teach her.
Yes, there was. She had a well. It sounds like the word sounds like nurse, but I assume it's some kind of nanny type thing as well.
Nanny. Uh-huh.
Yeah, and they were schooled in it's a homeschooled in many different things. I can hear the piano playing. I can see them playing the piano. It looks like they had a piano teacher, and so yes, they were very well educated. And,
where did you learn your nursing skills? How did that come about?
Right. Okay. She said she was educated through. Well, I hear the word sister and I hear the word father. So, I guess the two of those. There was schooling involved because. She's giving me, because of her social standing in the community, she had a lot more privilege and access to things that regular people didn't have access to. She said she had a whole library of books to draw from. And her father seems like he was like a very well-educated man. And so he gave them everything they needed to make sure that they became a functional part of the community as adults. Keep feeling like there's a sister. Are you aware of the sister? She had a sister?
As a matter of fact, it's my understanding that there was one sister.
Right. I felt it strongly. Yeah.
I think she had sort of a natural affinity for taking care of things. I remember reading something about a neighbor's dog, and the neighbor's was just convinced his dog was going to die, and Florence was having none of it.
That might be because that picture's come back of the fluffy white dog, so that might be that dog that she's showing me.
She saved the dog. She treated the dog, and the dog lived, to everybody's amazement.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
well, let's take a look at our notes here. I am curious about what were some of the challenges that you faced in your work as a nurse, keeping in mind that you made sweeping changes, right?
Yeah. The word she put in my head was men. Right.
Yeah.
Men not taking it serious, especially of the medical kind, right? The medical kind were resistant to her changing anything because she had, despite her wealth, they were resistant to a woman. It was an ego thing, she said. They were resistant to a woman suggesting things that could improve the way things work, like the hygiene, for example. The hygiene was a big one. She said, how could they seriously not know to keep their hands clean, and that sort of thing. And so she said that was the problem, like implementing something and then having a doctor overrule her was very irritating at times.
I can imagine. You were just a real can-do person.
Yeah, which you have to be in those environments. You have to be. She said, bodies are coming through the door, bang, 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 and they're dropping them anywhere. There's dirt everywhere. She just saw this whole thing as dirty, like they get put on the floor, and there's more dirt getting in the wounds. And she said, and the amount of people that were dying from diseased wounds that didn't need to. Just simply by cleaning them up properly and having clean hands and not going from one patient to another patient with dirty hands where that one patient is covered in bacteria and you're spreading it to the next patient and so on. And so that was, she said it was very difficult to get doctors to listen to her. She keeps showing me this icky, like she knows that guys go to the toilet and they have to hang on to the pipe, right? And she said they weren't washing their hands.
Did you say they have to hang on to the pipe?
Yeah.
I'll never think of a pipe the same way again.
So she keeps showing me this image, like like that they wouldn't wash their hands.
Uh-huh.
She said, how could they possibly think that touching those sweaty, dirty areas of their bodies would not spread disease?
No kidding. You know, I am not they had microscopes at that time. Weren't they aware of germs? They just didn't think of that, huh? And it's so funny how, you know, nowadays you think it's common sense, but gosh, how difficult would it have been to have to convince somebody that this is real and then to go and get these men to do what this woman says? I can't even imagine it. It had to have been, she had to be, I would say, very skilled at letting people have her way.
Yeah. So let's see what she's got to say about that. She said she had very good logic and reasoning skills that she could convince. It did get a bit monotonous though, because it wasn't just one man she had to convince. It was always many, you know, and not just the medics, but also the patients themselves had to be educated about cleanliness.
Well, I can only imagine how people who were nurses already might feel when, you know, they would have a certain way of doing things that did not include the hygiene and it didn't include taking care of basic needs, right? So she would have to come in and tell these people when she, you know, to them, she's a woman. How did that work?
She said, I just did what I did.
That's a great idea. You were a role model.
Yes, yeah. And I was relentless. I was relentless in my duties. And so if I couldn't reason with them, then I could nag them.
Well, there you go. That works. Okay, so let's see. Okay, here's something that really touched my heart. I had to do a little research so I knew enough about her to ask these questions. I understand that you made it a point to spend time with soldiers that you knew were dying. You knew you couldn't heal them. You knew they weren't going to recover. That you simply spent time comforting these dying soldiers and moreover, helping them write a final letter home.
She keeps saying, I had to help them understand that they were going to a better place. Right? That she said a lot of them were afraid.
Oh, sure they were.
They had fear and regret. Regret was the big one. So that was part of the letter writing experience for them, that they could tell their families all about how they felt, how they loved, and to say goodbye. And so that's what my mission was, to ensure that they had that final journey home. I did not want, I understood the soul, and I did not want them to be wandering around still on the battlefield looking for a purpose. So I helped educate them. I think she might have done it with the Bible, because I'm seeing what looks like a dirty Bible.
Okay,
right?
So that's very interesting. You said you understood the soul and you didn't want them wandering around a dirty battlefield. So it feels to me like you wanted to be sure that they actually crossed into the light instead of getting stuck. And how did you know this?
She said instinctively. Instinctively, she understood. She understood where God was. Mm-hmm. It's from a Christian perspective, though. I get that it's from a Christian. So she understood where God was, and she understood that that's where you go to after you die, after your body dies. She understood that, and she wanted them to understand that that's where they go to, right, as well. Mm-hmm. So that they didn't become lost. Right. She talks about limbo. She said.
Right.
She understood that some souls could get stuck in limbo.
Right.
But she didn't want them to get stuck in limbo. She told them to go to God. Just go to God. Right. Yeah. I think she was very Christian, or one of those Christian religions anyway. So I can see the Bible. It's beautiful, leather-bound book.
Wow, what a beautiful thing to do for somebody. Okay, so we know that men were a challenge. Is there like a particular challenge that you had to face down with that can-do attitude, anything that comes to you, and if not, we'll move on to something else. But is there like something in particular that was especially difficult?
She said, yeah, dealing with soldiers who came in with limbs missing and parts, that was especially difficult, because she said you can't just sew a leg back on, or they couldn't then, but obviously we can now, but you couldn't put people back together, and getting them from that place of where they have had limbs torn off, broken off, for whatever's happened to them,
right?
Getting them through the process of keeping the wounds unfestering, and seeing. She said many of them just simply died. They simply died. We were not able to get them through, and so that was the difficult part.
Was it because of infection?
I felt like I could not save everybody, and this distressed me.
Right. So with the limbs, I would think infection would have been especially difficult, something like gangrene. And then when you've got a depressed person, you've got to take care of yourself. So that would have been a double whammy. Yeah. Very difficult thing to deal with.
She said bleeding out was often the cause of death in those circumstances. It didn't even get to infection. They just bled. They bled. Yeah. So that was very distressing to experience that. She said, she tells me she wants you to remind you that this is still from a Christian perspective, where the separation between, even though she understood the soul goes home, she still saw everybody as separate. So the body was kind of the paramount vessel, and seeing the destruction of it was the distressing part.
Oh, sure. Absolutely, I would think so. You were so organized, and you had such strong leadership skills. Can you share with us a previous life or lives that prepared you for your incarnation as Florence Nightingale?
Right. This is interesting, because she's showing me an Egyptian mummy. She said that in one of her incarnations she was mummified. Right.
Wow.
So I said, well, what's the connection with the nursing? And she said, well, it's experiencing through your own death process. It's experiencing the transformation of the body from mind, body, and soul into, where the body's preserved, and then the soul goes home. So that's kind of interesting. Are there any others? Because she's showing me pyramids and camels. So I said, well, were you a male in that incarnation? She said yes. She was quite an important male in the Egyptian community.
Were you a physician of sorts, or not in anything to do with taking care of folks?
No, she was. She had community standing as like a vizier type person, somebody who had wealth and was connected to the royals, the royal families, whoever it was at that time. And I think I'm getting like 1500 years prior BC, so around then.
Okay.
And so she said, and this is fun, that her body is, from that time, is still mummified, and it's still in the ground. It still hasn't been dug up. Right. It's in one of those caves. It looks like a cave where they dig into the soft rock and make a tomb inside the hill. It's in one of those. She said it will eventually be excavated. Yeah.
And it's still well preserved?
Very well preserved, yes.
Oh my gosh. That is just mind-boggling.
Yeah.
So what was your soul contract for your lifetime? Well, as for your lifetime as Florence Nightingale.
As Florence. She said to help educate people into understanding that the biology of the body is not simply what you can see, it's also what you can't see. It was also to teach compassion. It was also to bring awareness, awareness to people about their own thoughts, feelings about what they were doing in life. It sounds fairly broad. So I just feel like she hasn't given me the full story. There's more to that story.
About the Egyptian?
Or... No, about
the soul
Florence.
contract?
Florence. I feel like her soul contract was bigger than that. She said, well, maybe she's underplaying it. But it did shift the medical community quite a lot from what she achieved.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Now that right there is an understatement.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think she's just being kind of
she
down.
She is. She's being very humble. Let me just say this: the death rate went from like 60% to 1%.
Wow, that is incredible.
Yeah,
wow.
And it was because she realized not only the importance of hygiene, but the importance of taking care of the whole person. I mean, a touch, a kind word, keeping them warm, giving them something to eat. I mean, she took care of the human being.
Yeah, and that's what I think she was describing before, but it felt like a total understatement. I thought, this just does not feel like the whole of it.
Okay, so I'm going to ask a question that might force you out of your comfort zone, and you might have to brag a little bit, but we would love to hear you brag because we're so proud of you. So can you share with us what you know to be some of the far-reaching effects of your having revolutionized the way nurses care for patients?
She said that modern nursing is based on a significant amount of the work that she did.
Absolutely.
The care of the patient. She said doctors are still struggling with some of that care, some of that bedside manner. But they do leave most of that to the nursing staff. The nursing staff are the ones that give the care. They're the ones that do give the blankets. They're the ones that ask you if you need anything. They're the ones that, are involved with the minute-to-minute care of the patient. So she said that in that respect, I feel like I am the matriarch of the modern nursing communities today.
You absolutely are the matriarch of modern nursing communities today. There's no question about it. Would you like to share anything about your personal life? What were you like? What did you like to do? You probably didn't have many hobbies because it sounds to me like you were all serious about your work.
She shows me reading, and it looks like it's the same book that she was reading to.
The Bible?
Yes. But she also kept journals. I see her writing journals.
Right.
Yeah.
Keeping notes of what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was good at that.
But her whole being wasn't about herself. It was about everybody else's needs. So that in that respect, her what she did as a nurse, that was her life. That was her hobby. That was who she was. But I get that she wrote quite a lot. She's showing me this journal that she would write in. And she would write down her day, her thoughts, and she would also speak to God in there as well. I get a really strong connection with God for Florence.
You had some very powerful guidance in your work.
She did, yeah. Our signal seems to have gone a bit.
Are you having trouble hearing, or did I... Oh, I froze.
You froze up.
I forget to look at myself because I'm looking at you, and sometimes I'm frozen for like 20 minutes before I even know it.
Oh, dear.
I'm just going to say it. I would be the world's worst detective. I am not the most observant person on the planet. I'm a good spiritual sleuth, but bad detective. So,
well, it's frozen on a really nice picture of you.
Oh,
well, thank
smile, you.
So that's all right. Yeah.
I'm curious though. Did you have let's say a personal relationship, a mate or a partner? Did you marry?
I get the connection to a male within the like whatever I don't know what war it was.
Crimean War.
Is it the Crimean? But I get a love connection from within that environment. That's what I can see. I feel her heart in that environment.
Aww.
So
I'm still in awe of how you work. Really. How difficult. I mean, I think people don't fully appreciate what you do and how you work. How you literally feel the feelings and they see pictures or images, and you have to put words to all this. And not only that, you have to do it like in the moment. And because of doubting Thomases, you don't just spout it off the top of your head as though they're whispering verbatim in your ear. They're like, oh, where did that come from?
Yeah,
it's just amazing.
They're not. I don't hear a lot of words. It's
right.
just, I get a package of information, and I have to unpack it, put words in it, and then pictures, and so for some reason it's gone to pictures now, and so that's what I'm describing.
You do that
feeling.
So beautifully. I just want people to understand that. What an incredible skill that you have. In fact, just to digress a little bit, I mean, that is why Adam chose you. We were doing the e-board with Eric. That was the day Eric was training Greg and me, because we didn't take our shoes off. We were making all these mistakes, and he's like, "Okay, you idiots, let me show you how to do this." So anyway, once we got it right, I asked Adam, who he wanted to work with. And this was probably 2 weeks before you did the Shiny Show in Vegas. And I had met Carrie in Houston in January. And Greg and I already had tickets. We had not yet met you. And he spells out Alison. It was amazing. Awesome. Wow. And I knew immediately who it was. And I'm like, wow, I'm going to meet her in Las Vegas. Let's hope she's on board with this. It was wonderful.
Some mediums, they hear everything and they just blurt out word for word what they're hearing, but I have to actually put words in. Sometimes the energy is so clear that I know the word that I'm using is the word they've sent, but others it's just it's all about the feeling. So that's how I've always worked. Yeah.
And that is what I find to be so incredible, because it is so very subtle. And I actually just experienced it, because when I asked you the question, or presented the question to you to ask Florence whether she had any hobbies, before I got it out of my mouth, in sort of my solar plexus area, I felt reading.
Right.
I felt reading. I felt her answer in my body.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's how it works. So that's one of those occasions where the word is unmistakable. Right, because you can only convey. There's only really one word for reading, and that's reading. So, yeah,
it's amazing. So I'm absolutely in awe of what you do, and I also heard through the grapevine that you are offering a mediumship class. Is that correct? Do you have one coming up pretty soon?
It's Body Talk. I've got a Body Talk class coming up, teaching people how to communicate. It is channeling. It's channeling your own body. So it's finding out from your own body what information you've been sending it and how you can fix that and make it better and hopefully have better health. And because each part of you has each part of your body has a consciousness. It's a conscious part of you that is working on, it's your kidney. So it's your kidney consciousness, but it's still you, right? So,
right.
But we don't connect to ourselves in this way. And when you can do that, you have a lot better relationship with your body. more alignment. You end up more aligned with your higher self. So yeah, that's what it is.
That's absolutely incredible. Do you have room in the class?
Oh,
Still for
yeah,
other people?
yeah.
Would you like to say, how people can find the class, how they could sign up?
Yep, Learn It Live. Go and Learn It Live and search for my name, and you'll find the class there. I'm so hopeless. I live in the moment so much. I never remember dates, but it's sometime towards the end of August, I think. Probably the second to last weekend in August, something like that. So, okay. And there's 2 time slots. One is in the morning. For me, in Australia, one's in the morning and one's in the afternoon. But that in the US will be afternoon, and the UK will be their morning. So I'm covering all time zones.
Okay, so this is what I'll do then. I will find the information, and for those of you who are interested, I'm going to put that in the notes for this Chillin' with Adam video with Florence Nightingale. And also, folks, if you want to see an amazing channeling session, you should check out Allison and Carrie's Shiny Show. The show in general is wonderful, but I'm thinking specifically the one where you channel Carrie's body parts. That was just...
Well, that's why that's from there I decided to do the teaching other people to do it, because I often channel people like that in reading. So I always do body scans when they ask me about health, but that took it to a whole new level, connecting to the actual body parts. So
it really did. So you know what? Since we have Florence here, who is probably the most incredible nurse who ever lived. Can I put you on the spot and ask you to just, anything in me jumping out? Do you have a pissed off kidney? Do I have a pissed off kidney? How are my lungs?
Actually, Florence says you're actually doing quite well for your age. Do you want me to tune into your body, or do you want to hear, I can do that if you want.
I would love you to. Such poise she had. I just had a big birthday.
Right.
I can't even say the damn number. I'm as old as I would be if no one had ever told me how old I am. I'm just me, I don't identify with numbers, but sometimes when you watch them rack up, you're like, shouldn't I be slowing down or feeling like a fuddy-duddy? No.
Well, Florence said, absolutely not. You should never, ever slow down. If you slow down, then you're adhering to a belief system that has come from outside of you. The truth is, nobody ever needs to slow down. You may need to change what you're doing to suit how you feel, but you don't have to slow down. Yeah.
I love that. And people forget. We've heard it, but we forget that you have a whole new body every 7 years. We are constantly regenerating.
She said we have a whole new body every second.
Wow, even better.
She said that the messages that get sent, and it could be broken down even further than that, but there would be no point to people's understanding of it. So she says that the body changes every second, and that might be that you sent the same message to your body for another second and another second and another second. And when you do that, you're creating your reality. You're creating your health. You're creating everything through that body. Whatever you tell that body moment to moment is exactly what that body will indeed produce.
That is incredible information. It really makes you responsible for your own health. I love that. So, if you are willing, go ahead and scan me.
Right. Okay. Well, let's have a chat while I've got Florence here. She can help me.
Okay.
Right. So, let's have a look. So, I keep getting drawn to your lower abdomen. And it's through the sacral chakra there. It's really interesting. I'm seeing a vortex. There's light inside it, but there's not so much light on outside. So it looks like it might be a bit clogged. So you might need to do something about clearing that debris from that chakra.
So let me just tell you, I have a protruded disc in my sacrum. I actually have degenerative disc disease. As far as I'm concerned, I have it in name only because I'm not owning that. And consequently, I really don't have back issues. But, considering the diagnoses I just shared that's supposed to be, keeping me from being able to do a number of different things, I am very careful about how much I lift and holding things close to my body and lifting with my legs and that sort of thing. But I'm really not surprised to hear that there's an issue there. So, and what are you getting that it is something that I could actually clear with energy work or some other way?
Right. Let me tune in a little bit more now and see what information I can get about that.
Okay.
So, the vortex that I can see, the light is right inside. There's this beautiful light inside, and as it comes out, there's like a not as much light. It just kind of swirling, so it just looks like it needs cleaning up. So you could probably, if you got somebody in there, an energy worker, will probably clean that up. But the bones in your lower back are kind of a little crumbly, I guess.
Right.
Where it's wear and tear. That's what it is. They are showing me that the signals the signals from up here, electrical signals, as they go down, get less and less and less as they go. So there's more degeneration at the bottom of the back than anywhere else.
Right. That's where
there's a little, tiny little bit at the bottom of the neck, where the neck joins the shoulders.
I'm hearing it crackle just a wee bit.
Yeah.
Well, not loud, but I can feel a little something there. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I'm connecting to your spine, and it's saying that if you can actually send that light further down and keep working on that area, then it will help regenerate the bones. You've done quite a lot of damage to yourself emotionally over the years as you were younger, right? So that's where a lot of this is.
Well, that makes sense. Yeah, I've had a lot has happened, and I didn't always know how to take care of myself or what to do about that. I came from a dysfunctional family. My father was an alcoholic. There was a lot of trauma in my childhood that continued into early adulthood, that sort of thing. And I'll just have to say I've come a long way, baby. And I am an energy worker, and I actually healed a fungus in my thumb. And that is one of the most difficult things to heal. I was taking Lamisil, and it started raising my liver enzymes. So I started using a method called quantum vortex healing.
Right.
And I did it every day in the shower.
And it's gone.
It's
brilliant.
Gone. So Cindy's going to do some more of that juju to herself.
Good on you. Well, then, I guess if you did that on your lower spine, that would be wonderful.
Sure.
Look, should we talk to a part of your body that we're hoping that's happy? Like, we'll see if we can.
Yes.
And we'll get a different perspective.
Sure.
So, I'm heading for your kidney. Your kidney is drawing me to it. And it's overall wellness is happy, but it says it doesn't always get enough fluid. So, and it's kind of being a bit teachery, like you need to drink more fluids.
Well, I don't blame it, because I was literally setting my phone every hour to make sure I drank 8 glasses of water a day. In the last couple of weeks, I made a pact with another author that we're going to finish our books. And so now, in addition to what I'm doing, I'm trying to knock out a chapter a week. And when I'm writing, sometimes I get so focused, I don't even know where I am. And I've neglected my kidney. So I'm very sorry, kidney.
Right. And I'm going to... you've got a dry mouth, so that could have been from talking as well. It dehydrates us. I'm going along up the pathways into the stomach, And actually, the stomach says that you've done loads and loads of releasing from that area, that there was a lot of bad energy that you put there from your younger life, and it was constantly bubbling. I get that there was a lot of, prior to this, a lot of acid, so that it's settled down quite a lot. It feels very... Well, it's telling me you've done a really good job, because it was overwhelmed. It had so much anxiety in there for a while that it was, there was like a constant bubbling of acid.
I can actually expound on that a little bit. I think what you're sensing is I actually had pancreatitis. I almost died.
Right. Wow.
Your amylase count shouldn't be over 300 something. And they had a really difficult time diagnosing me. They kept misdiagnosing it. And by the time they finally thought to check my amylase, the count was over 900.
Right.
They looked at me like, how are you even alive? I spent a week in the hospital with a nasal gastral tube just sucking the stuff out of me.
Wow. Okay. So that would have been pretty bad.
Yeah.
Right. That might explain the acid then.
Oh, it was like battery acid. Everything I ate felt like it was just going to burn right through me. And you're supposed to be on a clear liquid diet, and I was for a whole week with the tube in my nose. And what do you think they served me the first meal? A hamburger.
That's a little bit ridiculous.
I knew damn well I wasn't supposed to eat it, but guess what I did? I would have bitten their hand if they had tried to take it away after not eating for a week.
Oh my goodness, that's incredible. All right. Pancreatitis. Well, I don't even know what amylase is, but I've heard of it.
It's an enzyme that the pancreas produces.
Right. Okay. Right. Yeah. Your brain, for some reason, wants to talk.
Well, go figure, smarty pants.
Yeah. Let's see what it's got to say. Okay, so the brain shows me a picture of you with the glasses on, the smart. This is the smart part of you that's talking, the intelligent part of you, and it's praising you. Actually, it's saying that you have put so much effort into healing your body, and your mind, not just the body but also the mind. And that part of you, that's the consciousness around the brain, is very proud of you, actually. And it's also telling me it's very proud of your husband, because he had to work hard through a lot of this trauma that you've had to help you and support you. So all around, you're getting a big tick, 10 out of 10 in the schoolroom.
Aw, that's so wonderful. I mean... Seriously, when you think about the story, it's pretty incredible. Adam, my son Adam, I cannot tell you how carefully I chose his name. I mean, I really chose it carefully. I felt like he was going to do something really important that was going to heal a lot of people. And for whatever reason, in my immature little 25-year-old brain, I was assuming, he's going to be a doctor. Never in my wildest dreams did I think he would grow up and I would have to give him back to God and he would heal people through that. But what are the odds that 3 years before he dies, I marry a wonderful man who gave me back the name I gave Adam? Greg's last name is Adams. I'm Cindy Adams. And people, it kind of trips people out. They're like, Adams? No, Adam's last name is Hamel, Hamel, Adam David Hamel. Mama is Cindy Adams. That's, and now when I sign my name, I put a little heart between the M and the S, like an apostrophe. So my name is Cindy Adams. I belong to Adam.
Yeah. That's wonderful. Yeah, it's definitely no accident that that's come about.
No, that's just one of many things that confirmed to me that Adam's leaving was a soul contract.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I don't know if we can do this, but I'm kind of curious. Oh, let me ask Florence, What do you think about the fact that we can donate our organs now? That we can literally give our organs to somebody else after we die?
Yeah, she said, but when you think about it, if people healed their bodies before they got to that point where they were destroying themselves, that would not need to happen. She said it's a wonderful thing, and it's come about because the way people treat their bodies, the information that they put into their bodies, the food they put into the bodies, the things they do to their bodies is so significant that now it's generated a whole industry where we have to share our organs. And, that is a wonderful thing, but it's much better to heal or not even cause the destruction of people.
Absolutely. I'm going to have to agree with that 100%. So this is what I'm curious about. And if we can't do it, that's fine. But whatever, the idea popped into my mind. Adam's kidneys, both of his kidneys, his pancreas, his lungs, and his liver are still here in 3D in other people.
Right. That is interesting.
Isn't it? So I'm just wondering, Adam's lungs, Adam's pancreas, Adam's kidneys, Adam's liver. Do you have anything to say to us from somewhere?
Can I connect to them, not knowing where they? Well, yeah, I don't see why I can't.
Not knowing where they are. I mean, I can tell you that his lungs went to a man who was 72 at the time, so he's probably say 77. And sometimes a recipient will inherit something of the donor, and I can't help but wonder if that old guy has ever gotten the notion to strike up a blunt.
I'm connecting to the old guy. That's why I'm stooping over like this. He's obviously got a back problem. The lungs, I don't even know if he's still alive, because this is a really strong connection.
Oh. Well, did he ever get the idea to smoke a joint while he was still here? Because Adam's lungs love that shit.
Like Carrie's pizza. Let's see. Let's ask and see if the consciousness between them becomes a shared thing.
Okay.
All right. So what I'm hearing is that no, once the consciousness of one body leaves, what is left behind is a set of instructions that were placed there by the person that was donating them. And then those instructions go to the person, the transplant recipient. And from there, then you get a combination. You get a new set of instructions coming in from... Sorry, I'm stuck like this because I'm connected to this old guy.
I love it.
It's really bizarre.
I'm not sure you're loving it.
Yeah, I can't sit up. They get a new set of instructions, but if the instructions that they've got from the previous occupant are strong enough, they can send messages to the person, and they can actually make them crave things like cigarettes and alcohol and whatever else. I'd be surprised if this guy, the way this come over me now, I think he's probably crossed over. Either that or he's very, very disabled, because I'm sort of curled up, my arms all curled up, like, I know you can't see it.
No, I can now, sure.
I'm all curled up. So,
did they serve him well for a while?
This looks like riddled with arthritis.
Yeah. Oh, poor man. Did they serve you well for a while, sir?
Very well. They served him very well. But he said there's so many other things wrong with him. Plus the medication they had him on was quite destructive. So he just said they probably should have gone to a younger man. They should have let him go to a younger person.
Nice of you to say, but I'm sure that you were the intended recipient.
Yeah. But he's very disabled. If he's still alive, he's very disabled looking at this. So.
Well, I know that at least one of his kidneys and I think his liver went to mothers.
Right.
And there are children that still have their mommies because they have Adam's organs.
That's beautiful. Let's see if we can find the kidney. Let's see if we can find the mum with the kidney. So the mum with the kidney, I get a lot of anxiousness and nervousness with her.
One of them is in Indiana, where I was born. I thought that was kind of interesting, and I'm not sure if that's her, but one of the recipients was there. The gentleman was from Arizona.
Right. You can't see what I'm doing, but I've got both hands are tapping the seat. There's an anxiety. Okay. There's an anxiety about this lady that she's still here. She's still going. She's seems to be okay.
She doesn't does she need dialysis any longer?
I get that she's she's waiting for something. She's waiting for something. I don't know. There's just this terrible anxiety about her. I'm not getting too much of anything else in that respect.
I wonder if Adam could send her some peace through that kidney. Is that possible? Yeah. Send some happiness to your old kidney, Adam.
Happy, yeah. He said, oh, come on, Mum. Seriously, it's her kidney now.
Okay.
He's so funny. Yeah, he's like, seriously, Mum. Yeah. All right, and what was the other one? There was another kidney that went to a male, did you say?
I think so. I have to, I think the other kidney went to a male and the liver went to a woman, but I would have to go back and look. But two of his recipients I know are in the Bay Area in California.
Okay, I'm connecting to, I think, the person that has the other kidney, and with them I get restlessness, but not the anxiety like I had with that other lady. And not with any of these am I experiencing a lot of joy in their energy fields. Right. I think they've probably suffered so much emotional baggage that it's very difficult to find. But I am getting gratitude from the man that that there is gratitude there, that he is grateful for that. But it's hard. I feel like it's really hard. I keep hearing the word chemicals, so I guess they're having to take lots of drugs to keep them going.
Oh, yeah, because I guess there are drugs that sometimes you have to take to make sure your body doesn't reject a transplant.
So Adam just said all of them are struggling because of the toxins in their bodies, but and it's challenging because there's pain involved, you know.
Yeah.
So and he said some of them, even though they get these transplants, they still feel sorry for themselves afterwards. They carry around a why me kind of attitude. So the guy he's grateful. The other female, let's see if I can connect to her. With her, I get a brighter outlook, a completely different. Like, she's making the most of it. She's seen an opportunity, given an opportunity, and she's running with it. So full on running with it.
Oh, that's lovely. Right. Is that the woman with his liver?
Yes.
She's living with that liver.
Yeah. For her, she's I am so grateful for this opportunity to stay here and still be alive. And she gave me that she was very yellow before, right? Very yellow.
Sure.
Her liver just was not functioning at all. In fact, she's giving me that it was poisoning her.
She was dying. I mean, two of the recipients were dying. He saved 2 lives.
Yeah.
And then he greatly improved the lives of 3 others.
Yeah. So she gets a lot of pain from the inflammation in her body that came from prior to, that inflammation is still there. Like, it feels like she might have developed an arthritic condition.
Oh, okay.
My hands, they hurt, but they're not curled up like the old guy was. But they do hurt.
And in spite of all that, she still has a sunny disposition, and she's grateful to be here.
Yeah, for her, she's just like, I still get to experience life. I still get to experience children. I still get to experience husband. This is coming from the high self, of course. And so she's like, I could not be more grateful for Adam's sacrifice. And in fact, she has told him so from the high self many, many times. So it sounds like they've got a connection up there. Yeah.
I'm trying not to lose it here.
So am I.
My heart just swelled so big. Oh my gosh. I mean, of course I would like to have him here if it worked out that way, but I know he's where he wants to be. And, you know, it's just a beautiful thing when you feel like you can donate your organs.
Yeah.
You know, and help other people.
Yeah. So
Be sure to check that little box, folks, on your driver's license, or at least give it some thoughtful consideration, please.
Yeah, because you don't need them once you step out of your body. You don't need them anymore. So
organ donors give life when they're no longer here.
That's right.
That's awesome.
Exactly. That was actually really interesting, especially the question you asked about does any consciousness remain. It's not, but it's not actually, it is programming from the consciousness that remains.
So, and here's the interesting thing. Here's another question. It's my understanding that it's a little bit different when you're talking about the heart.
Right.
That rule, something about the heart carries more emotion than the others.
Right. Well, why don't we ask?
That would be a good thing to ask. My heart.
Let's channel your heart and see what answer to that question there is.
Oh my!
And so
my heart is very sad about some people I love in my family who are having a hard time, and I can't do anything about it.
Yeah. So your heart says that the heart is the emotional brain. It is the emotional brain, the part that gets broken very easily, because the heart is pure love. It's absolutely pure love. It is the very first point where it is the very first point that the soul really connects to the physical body, right?
Uh-huh.
And so if you donate a heart that's had an emotionally difficult experience, then of course that program she says still not consciousness. It is simply the programming that has been left behind.
That makes sense. That makes perfect sense, because Adam has told me from the other side. He said, I didn't want anyone to have my heart.
Right. Well, he just told me his heart wasn't, it was just too emotionally messed up. Right now, I've got no clue what was going on with Adam, but he just said his heart was just full of anxiety and misery and unhappiness and depression, that it would not have served anybody good, because those messages remain in that heart. It's energy that's been created. So it's like a computer program. He said it's the ones and the zeros in the computer program that you access, that somebody's written. And so that programming just stays there. And then if the recipient is unsuspecting, then that can have a dire consequences on the person. These are how sophisticated the energy systems that we are living in, and people just do not have an understanding of that at all. He says it's bizarre,
simply amazing.
Yeah. So he said, if you get a kidney that gives you a beer craving, that's not a bad thing. Everybody likes beer. But you don't want somebody's miserable shit from their heart.
No, you don't. I think Adam said he had a serotonin deficit.
Right.
And, that affects your desire to eat, your ability to sleep. He was also an empath. He would be fine. He would go around people. All of a sudden, he's not fine. And, you have to learn how to protect your energy field. And the thing is, a lot of people who are empaths don't know they're empaths. They don't
They don't know the
understand.
empaths. They don't shield. Yeah, shielding can be very, very difficult.
Yeah.
Everybody is an empath of some degree.
Right.
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 They, people who act out in, say, like a fight, they get angry and fight. Chances are they started out life as a strong empath, but all the wrong information has gone in, all the negative information has turned them into, somebody who lives in the ego. And they are responding, sometimes they are just responding to the energy that's coming at them. Right. So
absolutely. Absolutely. It is so important to learn about energy and what's truly going on with us. I heard today, I was listening to the Joyride show, another show to check out, folks. It is amazing. Gosh, I love all these people I have met. On the Joyride show today, I don't want to lose this thought. Okay, this is what I heard. Something about a psychiatrist said that a good number of people who are in mental health hospitals are experiencing ascension symptoms. They are not crazy at all. They just have no idea that they're waking up.
Yes. Yeah. That I believe is true. Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely amazing. It's really important to learn.
It's not being grounded with what you're experiencing. It's not having that logical side. You still need your logical side to say, hang on a minute, I'm not hallucinating.
Right.
I'm seeing something, don't quite know what it is. It's okay. It's not going to hurt me.
Right.
It's kind of that kind of talk is what a lot of people need to do, but instead they go, oh my God, I can see a spirit, I must be hallucinating, or I can see, energy, or I need to go and talk to somebody.
That can kind of be, our fault, and I say our because I have a degree in psychology, but, the DSM, Diagnostic and Statistics Manual, which is, the book where you thumb through to see if somebody's crazy, the DSM-5, pretty much any emotion you experience, you're batshit. But seriously, they have a disorder for just about, authority, you don't follow authority, oppositional defiant. You know what? Sorry, but that is bullshit.
Oppositional defiance.
Disorder.
So that is basically telling a person that if you have an independent thought,
if you're sovereign, you are a defiant, oppositional. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Don't get me started. But seriously, if you see things and you hear voices, you're crazy. No, that is absolutely not true. It's more about your global ability to function. If you want to look at, how somebody's doing, look at their GAF score. Not whether they hear voices. Or, you might want to ask yourself, are the voices telling you to love people or kill them? It does make a difference what they say.
Yeah. Well, here, you see, we say that somebody who's being told to kill a person is mentally ill. Perhaps they are.
Well, I don't know that either.
It can still be coming from a spiritual source. It just means that they are tuning in to a very low vibrational place.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the scary things about doing this stuff alone. But, it's about shielding too, and remembering that you attract what is at your vibration. So don't, mess with stuff if you're not in a good place.
As long as you keep your vibration high and you just live from love, then none of that will occur.
True.
So,
I absolutely believe that. I am curious, Ms. Nightingale, are you among us now? Are you incarnated on this timeline?
She says yes, she is. As a child, in fact, in sunny London.
Sunny London.
Sunny London. And she will, in this life, she will become a doctor. So.
That is wonderful. I've got goosies all up my right leg. That's kind of odd, just one leg. Oh, it's a little slow
Yeah.
coming down the other side. There it goes.
Yeah, there it goes. Yeah. Alrighty.
That's
Well,
wonderful.
we've been going for over an hour.
Did we? Oh my gosh,
Yep.
this has been a wonderful, wonderful interview, Allison. Thank you so much. You just boggle my mind with your amazing empathic skills. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Adam. And I know you were with me. He went with us to Vancouver, went to Lake Tahoe, so thank you so much for hanging out. That was super, super fun.
He's blowing your kisses. Yeah.
Love
Yeah.
you, Adam. So
Yeah.
we're...
And
go ahead.
he's hanging out a lot with Eric lately. So Eric's teaching him a lot about guidance and how to guide people, and that's along his journey. It's not just about helping people this way, but he wants to get more hands-on, more directly involved with people. So he's inviting people to actually contact him spiritually so he can come and give them a hand. Yeah.
That is wonderful. You know, he's excited. He wants to be known, and he wants people to ask him for help. And it's happening more and more. You know, when we let people know, our subscribers, you know, are contacting him, and he is helping them. And I'm getting some really awesome feedback, and it's so exciting. I love it.
Yep.
You are such a beautiful soul, Adam. I am so proud to be your mom.
Yeah. Yeah. Lovely. A bit of echo.
So next up, we are going to talk with Marie Curie. Is that correct?
Oh, right. Yeah, you still want to do that one? Yep, we can do Marie Curie. Yep.
I think Adam wanted to do her.
He does. Yeah. He wants to do strong women.
Yeah.
Like, strong women is what. So he wants to help empower women today from channeling women from the past.
I love it. Okay, so next up we'll do Marie Curie. So we'll say goodbye to the audience for today. Thank you so much for watching.
Yeah, you're welcome.